There are symbols that do not belong to a single people, but to a shared consciousness. St. George is one of them. Before it became a celebration, before it turned into a local tradition, even before a rose was offered as a gesture of love, there was the figure of St. George, a Roman soldier who, according to tradition, was executed under the rule of Diocletian for refusing to renounce his faith. That is the historical origin. But Europe has never been satisfied with history alone. Europe transforms, elevates, and turns events into symbols. And so, over time, the legend began to take shape. It did not emerge from a single place nor from a single language, but from a medieval imagination that traveled through monasteries, roads, and manuscripts. It was later collected in works such as The Golden Legend by Jacobus de Voragine, but it had already lived for centuries in oral tradition. The story is familiar. A city held in terror, a relentless dragon, human sacrifices, until fate chooses a maiden, and at that final moment, the night appears. But what matters is not the story itself, but what it represents. The dragon is chaos, the fear that paralyzes a community. The maiden represents vulnerability, what must be protected. The knight is the human will to confront the unknown. This is not a Catalan story, not an English one, not a French one. It is deeply European. Over time, the legend became even more symbolic. It was said that from the dragon's blood, a red rose would grow. And there, the myth transforms into something deeper. The rose was not new. Since ancient times, it had symbolized love, beauty, and also sacrifice, linked to figures such as Venus. In Christian tradition, it evoked martyrdom and purity. And in medieval Europe, it even became a political emblem. One of the most revealing examples is the Tudor rose in England, born from the union of two rival houses after the Wars of the Roses. The red and white roses, once opposed, merge into a single symbol. Once again, the same idea. From the wound comes unity. From blood, beauty. St. George himself was never tied to a single land. He is the patron saint of England, deeply venerated in Georgia, and present in traditions across Portugal, France, and much of Eastern Europe. He does not belong to a place. He belongs to a shared imagination. Within that symbolic landscape, Catalonia developed one of the most beautiful ways of celebrating this story. Not from origin, but from sensitivity. On April 23rd, the streets fill with books and roses. Love is given, knowledge is shared, and the myth becomes something human. And there is one detail that connects this tradition even more deeply to the cultural soul of Europe. That same day, April 23rd, marks the symbolic death of two giants of literature, William Shakespeare and Miguel de Cervantes. Two authors, two languages, two worlds, and one shared date. That is why this day became linked to the World Book Day, uniting forever the rose and the written word. What once was a legend of battle becomes a celebration of love and thought. But it is important to understand this clearly. Catalonia did not create the legend. It reinterpreted it. It transformed it into something intimate, human, and alive. And that is where its beauty lies. Because St. George does not belong to a territory, not even to a time. It is a story that Europe has told itself for centuries to understand itself. That fear can be faced, that beauty can emerge from the wound, that love, like the rose, always carries a thorn. And perhaps that is why it still lives. Because deep down, every generation still needs its dragon and its own way to defeat it. If you are drawn to stories like this, where myth, history, and symbolism intertwine to reveal something deeper, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and join us on this journey through time, ideas, and the mysteries that still remain. Because there are many more stories waiting to be discovered.